Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to get into Schoology, create a course, add some materials to that course, and assign students. You get into Schoology by first logging into ClassLink. It's going to be toward the bottom. When you click on it, it will bring it up in a new tab, and on your splash page here, this is your course dashboard. It will show you all of the courses you own or are enrolled in. Now, a lot of you probably won't have any courses on here because we don't have students assigned to us in Focus. So it's not going to populate a course for us. We have to create our own and assign our students that way. The steps to creating a course are pretty simple. At the top, there is a button that says Courses. When you click on it, it'll bring up a little tab that'll show your courses here for like a quick menu to get to. And off to the right, there is a button that says My Courses. We're going to click on it. It'll bring you to a list of your courses here, but it'll also bring up a sidebar that says Manage Courses. This is where you can join a course or create a course. We're going to be creating one, so we're going to click on that button, and it'll bring up a box. The first box is course name. This is where you're going to put in the name for your course. I'm going to, because I already have a library course, I'm going to put in library practice. And I actually recommend that you start with a practice account because when you create your actual one, you can copy stuff over from your practice account to your actual page. So if there's a layout you wanted to test, or if you wanted to see how something looks, but you didn't want to publish it for your students to see yet, you can put it in your practice course and then copy it over. You can add sections to your course if you would like to. I use sections to separate my grade levels. So whenever I added my students, I added them to the grade level that they belong in. So if I were to post a read aloud that was only intended for kindergarten, I'm able to set the restrictions to only kindergarten students can view it and not everybody. It's up to you whether you want to add sections or not. If all of your material you're planning on posting is just going to be for everybody regardless, you don't really need sections, but I like to have them for organizational purposes. So I'm going to add kindergarten, and then you can keep adding, press the add section button to add more, and then type yours in. Whenever you do add your students, you'll be able to choose what grade level they belong in. All right. Your next button is subject area. I put language arts because there isn't a library button, unfortunately. And then levels, where you choose your grade level. And again, unfortunately, it won't let you pick multiple grade levels. It only lets you pick one. So I just click none because technically I have more than one grade level and it doesn't matter what you put anyways. And then grading periods, go ahead and click full year. And once you click full year, it'll select all of the quarters for you. Now you can click create. Excuse me. So now you have your library practice course. On the sidebar, this is how you navigate your course, and the sidebar is going to look different for your students too. There's a way you can view what your class will look like for a student, but we're going to look at that in a little bit. The most important things for us are materials and updates because we don't give grades. There's a Safari montage button here if you wanted to incorporate some of that. And there's also a Teams meeting set up if you did want to meet with your students that way. You can do that too. But our most important ones right here are materials and updates. So the materials is where you're going to spend most of your time because this is how you update your pages, your videos, your assignments. And it is kind of up to you how you want to organize this. There is a way that you can add a header, kind of like I have on my Schoology, that has clickable buttons, so your younger students find it easier to navigate, and even your older students find it easier to navigate. That's a totally separate tutorial that I can give you the link to, or I can create. I'm just going to show you how to add the basics today. So to add materials, you click on this button, and you have multiple options that you can play around with. You can organize stuff in folders. You can create assignments, quizzes, assessments, discussions, pages. I usually use pages for most of my stuff because you can embed text, images, and videos to a page. So the way I had mine organized is I had a folder and a separate page for each topic. So I had a folder and a page for AR, I had a folder and a page for Plus, I had a folder and a page for my databases. So that way I could link it because that's how my header is set up. If you'd rather have it set by grade level, you can do that too. I'm going to go ahead and create add page. And it'll bring me up to a button with a little text editor here. I'm going to call this page kindergarten because I'm going to set this one up by grade level. Actually, no, I'm going to do read aloud so I can embed a video for you. On this page, I'm going to pretend that this is my read aloud page. When I link this, this is where the students can see all the read alouds that I post. Here you can type in, I'm going to put this is my read aloud page. You can edit your text, you can make it bigger, you can change it to headings, you can mess around with it. You can also embed videos, you can embed images, you can embed links, all kinds of things. This little button with the little arrow pointing down is going to be your friend because this is where you put in content. So if you click on insert content, this is where you can insert a link. If you have something on Google Drive, you can put it in there. If you if you can search through YouTube here, but I suggest actually linking it this way if you have the exact link. I'm going to go ahead and embed one of my read alouds that I uploaded to YouTube just because it's a familiar format for my students. I know a lot of people also use Safari Montage. You can do that too, but I just default to YouTube because most parents and students already know how to use it. I'm going to click on Image and Media. You can upload a picture, but also from the web, if you wanted to embed it, you can embed an image or media. I'm going to click on Media, and I already have my YouTube video pulled up in a separate tab. This was a read aloud I did for my kindergarten, first, and second students. I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to paste it here and insert it. And now I have a video. It's not going to show in the preview, but once I publish my page, it will show up. This is where I was talking about if you have sections and you only want certain grade levels to see this, you can not press that, and then you can select sections to customize. So I said my read alouds are my kindergarten, first, and second, and then I have something separate for third, fourth, and fifth. So let's pretend I only wanted my kindergarten, first, and second graders to see this. They have a green button next to them. It's published for them only. So now when I click create, I will have a page here that they can access. I would suggest, if you have the time, to create the headers because otherwise Schoology is kind of dull looking and boring, especially for students, and you can link it that way, and I'll show you mine at the end. Now we're going to go into actually adding students to a course. This is where it gets a little bit complicated because there's 3 different ways you can go about this depending on your style. The first one is on the side at the very bottom. You have these access codes. If you hover over them, it'll tell you what grade level that access code is for. So like this one's for kindergarten, this one's for first grade, for second grade. So if you don't want to go in and enroll all the students yourself, you can give these to their respective teachers, and their teachers can help them enter these codes and put them in. That's going to rely a lot on your teachers and what they would like to do. So if you have a supportive staff that would be down with doing that, that's one way to do it. Another way, the way I ultimately ended up doing, because I only have 400 students and I didn't want to put any more on my teachers, is off to the side there's a button that says members. You can manually add all of the students in your school this way. First, you select your grade level. So if I'm getting ready to add kindergarten students, I would select this. If I'm getting ready to add 5th grade students, I would select this. So I'm going to start with 5th grade just because I remember their names. If I wanted to add the students myself, there's a button that says Add Members. It will bring up, your school should be here. It will bring up all the kids in your grade level. I usually have a list of homerooms and the students that are in the list from Destiny, and I just type in their names and add them one by one. Now, this is not feasible if you're in Chain of Lakes, for example, who has 1,000 students. My school has about 500, so it's a little bit more doable for me. Or if you wanted to have your teachers do the access codes, but there's that one teacher that never reads their email and doesn't like to follow directions, then you can do this yourself and make sure that their kids aren't penalized because they're not wanting to add them to Schoology. So for 5th grade, one of my 5th graders is, you type in their name, you can type in their first name, last name, it'll bring it up. And then all you have to do is click on their name, and then it's plus, and you don't have to add members individually. You can keep typing in names and then add them in. Another one of my 5th graders. Click it. I now have 2 that are in, and I could keep going. And then once you're done and you've added all you want to add, you click Add Members, and now they are in the 5th grade section. You can also, I would suggest adding your teachers. It is up to you if you want to make them admins. If they are admins, I believe they have the ability to edit your page, but they also have the ability to add the members themselves. So if they didn't want to use the access codes and you gave them the ability to be an admin, they would be able to get in here like this and add the members themselves. So if I wanted to add a teacher, it's the same process. Make sure that you have the correct grade level selected up here before you start adding people. I'm going to add our 5th grade e-learning teacher. Add members. She's now in the class. Usually the teachers' names are capitalized compared to the students. If I wanted to make her an admin, there's a little gear right here. If you click on it, there's a button that says Make Admin. She is now an admin, so she can add students, her own students, to 5th grade if she wanted to. That requires a few extra steps on your teacher's side. It is up to you whether you want to have your teachers add them via class code, via them being an admin and adding their own students, or you being a control freak like me and just adding in all the students yourself to make it easier on yourself and your teachers. Before I end this video, I am going to show you how you can view a course as a student. So once you've added students to your course and you want to see, hey, what does it look like for them? Under course options right here on your sidebar, you can click, well, it should work in theory. Let me go ahead and go back to my home page and see if it updated. It's going to make a liar out of me. There we go. Top thing is view course as. Once you've added a student or 2, you can view it as a student. So I'm going to pick one of the students that I just added. So when I view it as her, it's going to look like this, because remember the page that I had put on earlier was only for K1 and 2, so it's not going to show up for her because she's in 5th grade. But on the sidebar, the only things they see are your materials, your updates, and grades, which we don't do. One more thing before I end this video. I was going to show you what I meant by you can have a fancy heading that helps you. This is my actual library, Schoology, and if you're interested, I can show you the video or upload a video on how to make this. This is on the top of every page for my students, and instead of having to go into materials and find it in the folders themselves here, it's automatically linked through my buttons. So whenever you click on the button, it'll bring you to the page. I highly suggest this, especially for the kindergarten students and even the 5th graders, because it's going to be kind of hard for them to navigate otherwise. That's a totally separate tutorial. If you would like me to do it, I can. It's a little bit labor intensive, but that's something that I'd be willing to do. I know if you have any questions, Bonnie, I believe, is adding me onto the Q1 training as a breakout session for Schoology. And in the meantime, if you have any questions about how to do this or something's not showing up right on your end, I'm willing to meet through Teams and share my screen and walk you through it. You can email me. I'm basically glued to my phone. I answer emails whenever. I'm willing, or I can make more videos. I'm willing to help you in whatever way you need. Just reach out and I will do what I can.